Underwater was far better than I expected with sympathetic leads, impressive visual effects and a great music score. I'd recommend giving it a chance as you may be pleasantly surprised. Hi, I'm John. Please subscribe our channel and click the bell icon. Let's start it. A crew of aquatic researchers work to get to safety after an earthquake devastates their subterranean laboratory. But the crew has more than the ocean seabed to fear. So, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really interested in this one at all, mostly cause of its starring two actors that I'm not a fan of at all, but I'll admit when I'm wrong. I was pleasantly surprised by this one, particularly with Kristen Stewart, who in my opinion gives her best performance to date, but not to discredit the rest of the cast who all do a solid job. The creature effects are very well done, even if it's CG effects. It's still pretty good overall. It's very well directed, and you can tell this director was inspired by late 80s 90s creature films, like Leviathan, Jurassic Park and Deep Rising, which are just a few examples to name. Another notable mention is the great score by both Marco Beltrami and Brandon Roberts. It's creepy and effective without being too overbearing. Underwater certainly wastes no time, as a section of the drill site completely ruptures minutes into the movie, barely allowing Kristen Stewart's Nora to finish her introductory monologue regarding the misplaced flow of time from months of aquatic life and isolation. Much like something out of a video game, Nora and another crew member run for their lives through hallway after hallway, avoiding bursts of water and objects flying in every direction. Eventually finding a measure of brief safety, where they reunite with a coworker buried underneath the rubble, TJ Miller doing his usual obnoxious companion routine. From there, they make their way through claustrophobic spaces to locate the captain, Vincent Castle, to put their heads together and collectively decipher just what the hell is going on. The word linear comes to mind watching Underwater, as it's essentially just a series of set pieces, where its characters must get from location to location, while managing the crumbling structures around them, and the mysterious sea creatures threatening to kill them. It's also a case where the fewer the characters on screen, the better. If this were an entire movie that saw Nora and Mamoudou Athas characters working together to survive, communicating with one another, and developing along the way while uncovering secrets, who knows what Underwater could have been. The direction from William Eubank clearly works best within confined spaces, minimalist storytelling, the absolute lack of plot exposition for anything here is wonderful, and the fine performances from Kristen Stewart and Mamoudou Athas. One of the greatest tricks Underwater pulls off is that we immediately care about these people because of the talent putting in good work. And then some more characters are introduced, one dies off. The comedic relief for some reason becomes the focus of the movie for about 30 minutes. During this entire stretch, Kristen Stewart is lucky if she has 2 or 3 lines, and the scope of the production expands to something more resembling a standard blockbuster. That's not to say that TJ Miller isn't funny, he once again is, so it's a shame he turned out to be a terrible human being, or that the escalating action isn't intriguing. The payoff to this is assuredly satisfying with some worthy CGI work, but that all of the established routes are done away with one by one as the film transitions into a traditionally entertaining and audience-friendly. While Underwater is not necessarily a movie that needs strong characters emotionally, it is jarring that Nora's reason for being here and doing anything is explained away during a random conversation with Jessica Henwick's Emily. There's also a shot of female friendship and bonding that culminates with a hard and heroic moment during the climax. If anything, it's probably for the best, considering dread and tension is where the craft on display excels. Whether it be watching these characters investigate a potentially dead body or attempt to quietly walk past a wide open room filled with aquatic monsters hanging from the ceiling begging to be woken up by the slightest amount of noise. Writers Brian Duffield and Adam Cosett seem more interested in feeding TJ Miller jokes than creating characters. It's also worth mentioning that there is at least one earned jump scare, but not without restraint for frequently resorting to such cheap tactics. The downside is that some of these scenarios lead to action sequences, where the filmmakers are in over their heads, occasionally unable to make sense out of the blurry underwater chaos. My only problem is the use of shaky cam in certain scenes, some more noticeable than others, but that's it. Overall, Underwater is an entertaining and well-directed creature film that has good performances, impressive effects, decent story, and has one of the best scores I've heard in a very long time in a horror film. I definitely recommend, if you're a fan of these type of films, as you won't be disappointed.